Hello students, once again I Divyansh Srivastav, your English teacher is here and today we will be studying English literature. The topic is To Celia. This is a poem and the poet of this poem is Ben Jonson. Okay, so now before we start with this poem, let's just move towards the theme and character. The basic theme behind this is transcendent love and the willpower. Okay, now this entire song that has been written by the poet is conceptually based only on love, and you can say that moreover it's a one-sided love which he demonstrates towards his lover, and he expresses the way the beauty she is carrying, the way she carries herself, and the entire characteristic, the entire nature of the poet's lover is mentioned in this poem. Now, second theme, that is willpower. Okay, we need to understand why the another theme that is added to it is willpower. The motive behind writing up willpower is because if we go to the last para of this poem, here the poet's lover, she refuses to accept the love that was showered by the poet on her. And the ultimate thing or the ultimate result that she turns up is the denial. She denies of that love that this poet is carrying for her. But instead of, though this lover has denied of the love, but still the poet continues with the same flow. He continues to love that lady as he used to love before he has expressed the love to it. Okay. Now, with the theme, you would have understood that the characters that is used in this entire poem. The first character is poet himself. The second one is Celia. Okay, Celia is the lady or she's the girl whom this poet is in love with. And this entire poem is written basically on this girl whose name is Celia. Okay, let's study. As the song narrates in the starting, it says, "Drink to me only with thy eyes, and I will pledge with mine, or leave a kiss but in the cup, and I will not look for wine. The thirst that forms the soul thou rise, thou ask drink divine. But might I of Job's nectar sup, I would not change for thine." Okay, over here, what this poet is trying to narrate is, drink to me only with thy eyes. Okay, you can see this picture that is given over here. The poet, suppose this is the poet, okay? And now, what is he doing? He is narrating the entire poem for this lady. You can see this girl over here. And in the starting lines, he is saying that drink to me only with thy eyes. Matlab, this means that the poet is looking for the lust. He doesn't goes after the lust, but he's after the pure love. And he says that I want to drink through your eyes, because if we see towards the eyes, eye is one of that organ or one of that component, you can say, in human body that expresses our emotions, or it expresses the way we are feeling. Or you can say whatever we think, whatever we want to narrate, okay, partially or completely, we can speak through our eyes. And so this very poet emphasizes over here that if he wants to drink, he only wants to drink through the eye of her lover. And then in the second line he says that as it is for you, so I give you the pledge. I even pledge over this thing that with the same amount, with the same intensity, the coefficient, the factor that I will be loving you will be the similar way out. I am also going to love you in that same manner as you are going to love me. Now, in the third and the fourth line, he says that, or leave a kiss, but in the cup. Okay. Now here the poet desires for a kiss, but he wants the kiss through the cup. Now see, you can see this poster over here. The cup is over here. Okay. Now, just imagine that some liquid is filled in this very cup. And this lady that you can see over here, and this lady, she's taking up this cup and she's drinking from this cup. Okay, while she's drinking up with this cup, okay, she takes it to her lips. So this poet over here, he refers to this thing that I want a kiss. That means I want a kiss, I want a small texture, a small surface of a kiss, but only through that cup. I don't want anything to be physical. And so we can say that the love that he carries does not crave for any desire, but he is completely in a true love thought, you can say to it. Then he says, but might I of Jove's nectar sup? Okay. Now what is he trying to do over here? He's trying to purify, or you can say he's giving more superiority to this lady's love than of this nectar. Okay. Now whose nectar is this poet talking about? Jove's. Okay. If we talk about Jove, this word Jove over here. Okay. You can see this word Jove over here. He is a Roman god. Who is he? He is a Roman god. And what is the poet trying to say? That even if the Roman god is going to give me the sup of the nectar, the sweetest thing. Nectar is a symbol of sweetness, a symbol of love. So he is saying over here that even if Jove is going to give me, even if the Roman god is going to give me this nectar, this sweetness, this love, even if he is going to give me, I am going to refuse that just for you. I am going to give you the more priority than of giving the Roman god. Now, in the next lines, he states over here, I send thee late a rosy wreath, not so much honoring thee, as giving it a hope that there it would not wither be, but though there doesn't only breathe, and sent it back to me, since when it grows and smells, I swear, not of itself, but thee. Okay. Now in the starting 4 lines, over here you can see this boy. Just imagine that this boy is the poet. Okay. Now, according to the first 4 lines that is being presented over here of this paragraph, he says, I send thee late a rosy wreath. That means he is giving this lady, okay, you can see this fellow over here, this boy over here. Just imagine that this is the poet himself. Okay, he is offering this rose to this girl, or you can say to this lady whose name is Celia. But while he has offered this very rose, now you need to understand the motive. There is a different motive. The first motive, you can state that he is trying to express the love towards this lady. The poet is trying to express his love towards this lady. But the second most important intention that he is carrying is to honor this lady. Now, how is he trying to honor it? He states over here that if I am going to give you this rose, okay, rose, it carries a property that it will stay fresh only for 1 or 2 days. After that, it's going to get dry. The leaves are going to be dead. But what is he trying to say? But what is the poet trying to say over here? That if I'm giving you this rose, okay, just for the reason that if this rose is going to stay with you, definitely of time and time, this rose is going to stay fresh throughout the lifespan. Because this lady Celia, she carries that intensity, she carries that influence in her that whatever is going to stay with her, it's going to be fresh, it's going to be in a very attractive manner, it's going to stay fresh and lively throughout the lifespan. And it is not because that rose is carrying that characteristic, but it is Celia who is carrying this characteristic, and just because the rose is going to be there with Celia, so this very rose is going to inherit the qualities of Celia. Now, what happens in the last line? When this fellow has given this rose to this lady, okay, after this what is happening? That this girl, she takes that flower and she returns it back. Now, what is Celia trying to do over here? Celia is refusing the love that was offered, or you can say that was showered by this poet on her. Now, she is refusing that. And how is she denying? How is she showing her refusal? By returning that flower. Okay. Now, once that flower is returned back to this poet, he says over here in the last two lines, he says over here that since when it grows and smell, I swear, not of itself but thee. This means that now the rose that was given back, okay, the rose that he has gifted to this lady Celia, and when Celia has returned this rose to him, now this rose is not carrying anymore the property of Celia, is not carrying its own property anymore. We know that every flower carries a different fragrance. There is a different aroma with every flower. But now, as this flower had come in the hands of Celia, so now what is happening over here is that this flower is no more carrying its own original smell, but the smell of Celia, the qualities of Celia is being inherited by this flower. Just for the reason that she has held that flower in her hand, so the very aroma that was present in Celia is now inherited by this flower. Okay, students, I hope that you would have understood this entire story, this entire poem. And once again, I would just like to repeat this, that this poem, it revolves around the love that is reflected by the poet on this girl Celia, and this entire theme, it revolves around the love. Okay, thank you, students.